Welcome back to Blue Collar Sports once again, everyone. It is 2:42 down here in Boise, Idaho, as we're at Boise State University in the Pulse Radio Studio. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We are every Tuesday, Thursday from 2 to 4 p.m. Blue Collar Sports. I'm your co-host, Seth Newville, joined here with co-host Trevor Brumman. It's been a great show for you so far today. We've talked all things Super Bowl related because it is Super Bowl weekend now. One of the best weekends of the year, if not the best weekend of the year. I cannot wait for it. It's going to be a great game. Not really the two teams I wanted, but it's still going to be fun and a great game. So if you tuned in earlier, we gave you our storylines and both teams' paths early on. And then last segment, we went through we're going now through our top 10 players involved within the Super Bowl. We gave you 10 through 6 last segment. If you want to go over, Trevor, if you want to go over your 10 through 6 so far.
Absolutely. My top 10 players in the Super Bowl. Here's my number 10, Sony Michel, great running back for the Patriots this year. As a rookie, he's going to have a huge impact on Sunday. Number 9, Stephon Gilmore, best corner in this game. He's going to have a big impact as well for the Patriots. And then number 8, I had to do a little switch here, actually. I put Andrew Whitworth, number 8, huge offensive lineman for the Los Angeles Rams. He's going to have a huge impact. Their leader, vocal leader on offense. And then number 7, I had Shaq Mason, the best guard in football, best lineman for the Patriots. Really creates that running game and protection for Tom Brady. And then number 6, I had Julian Edelman, the most reliable target in probably the entire Super Bowl game.
Yeah, that's a great start to yours as well. Mine starts the same with number 10, Sony Michel, Patriots running back. My only offensive lineman comes in at number 9 with Shaq Mason, the right guard for the Patriots. Number 8, the corner for the LA Rams, Aqib Talib. He's really set the tone for this team and this defense. My number 7 is Rob Gronkowski, tight end for the New England Patriots. Could arguably be a top 5 player, that's for sure. But I got him down to number 7. And number 6, like you said, Mr. Reliable, Julian Edelman. I think he is one of the probably top 3 most important players come Sunday, but he's number 6 on my most talented.
Very similar list so far. We're going to see how much more similar they are in our top 5 to number 1. So, Seth, let's kick it off with number 5.
So my number 5 is my first quarterback, and that is Jared Goff of the LA Rams. My top 5, really, I did switch it up a little bit because it's so my only spot that's really stayed the same is number 1, which I'll get to later. But Jared Goff, I had him all the way up at 2, 3. He ends up on my final one at number 5. But I will say he has earned my trust this year. I think he was one guy that could potentially be labeled with a bust label early on in his career. Sean McVay could not have come to perfect time. And you could see their relationship and how well it has developed and how much they trust each other. And I'm going to have more on that actually at the start of next hour. Cool. So I'll have plenty more on that coming up. But Jared Goff is my number 5. He's at a great playoffs. Very easily early on in that Saints game. They're down 13-0. That place is going crazy. He can't hear. He's having equipment issues with his helmet. Gets it figured out. He could have easily lost control of that game. But he looked calm. He looked ready. A lot of people compare his style to Tom Brady. So he's a very fun quarterback to watch. He comes in as my number 5 best player in this game.
Number 5 for me, you already talked about him, that is Rob Gronkowski. He's going to have a big impact in this game, and here's why. It could go two different ways. He could be the blocker he's been all season long, which is panned out very well for the Patriots. Maybe not for Gronk and his stats and his famous personality, but it's been working out all season long. That's how they really developed this run game, and that's why they're in the Super Bowl right now. I believe that. But he could also play the way we saw him in the AFC Championship game as a huge target. Tony Romo called it up in the corner. He was able to find the ball from Tom Brady and really lead that team to the Super Bowl and that win there in overtime. So Rob Gronkowski is a huge impact in this game. I feel like his time is definitely winding down, and we're going to get to that in a little bit. And so I think if this is it, this one last game, he's going to have to go out there and perform very well, and he can do that in multiple different ways. And he's Tom Brady's favorite target, other than Edelman probably. And so I think Rob Gronkowski is going to be a huge piece in this Super Bowl, and it's going to be a great stuff for the New England Patriots.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be very, very amped up for this game because, as we said, we'll talk about it more at the start of next hour, but this could be his final game. He's talked about it. He's definitely thinking about that. He wants to go out on top and put himself in conversation with the best tight end to ever play the game.
Yes.
And going out with a Super Bowl victory and a dominating old Gronk performance is the way to do it. So definitely a big key to watch. My number 4 player, is the cornerback. You talked about him earlier, but cornerback Stephon Gilmore for the New England Patriots. This is a guy that I kind of see him as an unsung hero for the New England Patriots. He's been there for a while, doesn't get a ton of glory, doesn't get a lot of fame. He's one of the quieter corners, I mean, compared to some of the other greats, like you're looking at Richard Sherman, Patrick Peterson, guys like that. A little bit Aqib Talib, a little bit quieter compared to them, but he does his job and he does it right. I think Bill Belichick trusts him just as much as anyone else on this roster. I know Bill's a defensive-oriented guy, and I think it starts with Stephon Gilmore. He sets the tone for the secondary. It's going to be interesting to see his role come Sunday because of the Patriots' really lack of outside options. Julian Edelman is in the middle kind of guy, slot guy. Gronkowski, tight end, obviously. Got Chris Hogan out there. But it's going to be interesting to see how they use I'm thinking of Aqib Talib. Apologies, I was thinking to keep Talib. I didn't want to talk about that. But interesting to see how they use Talib. But it's also going to be interesting to see how they use Gilmore. You talked about, do you think they'll use him to shadow Brandon Cooks? Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily see that happen because of his style. He's a physical corner, and he matches up well with Robert Woods, who's also a very physical receiver. So I don't necessarily see him that, but I think they're just going to go side to side. I think he's going to take who's ever on his side, whether it's Cooks or Woods. I think he could take either of them.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with you on that one. You had him much higher than I did. I had him at number 9, but still he's going to have a huge impact in this game, so I can't wait to see how that turns out. My number 4 player, most people probably have him higher. That is Todd Gurley in this game. A lot of people keep talking about if he's 100% or not. I do believe he is 100%. Just C.J. Anderson, he really fit the flow of the game much better in the Dallas game. Last week in the Saints game, he was just a much more better fit for what they were going up against, a more big body tank kind of athlete that is going to be, it's going to take a couple people to take him down. And Todd Gurley, I know I gave him Offensive Player of the Year, so he is a special talent for sure. And he's gonna be a huge impact in this game. I think he is healthy. I think he will be the number 1 back in this game. I think Sean McVay, he talked about it. He wants to get more opportunities for Todd Gurley to get the ball, and I think he's going to draw up some great stuff for Todd Gurley in this game very early on. They're going to find him the ball, because if he doesn't really get the ball and it's kind of a shaky start, we're going to see what happened in the Saints game. He dropped the ball, turned it into an interception. He dropped another ball. He only got 2 yards, I believe, in that game. So I think he's going to get the ball very early, rushing from Jared Goff, passing. He's going to be a very big impact in this game, and I think he's going to be just fine. He's going to be 100%. But he is number 4 for me because there's 3 guys that I think will have an even bigger impact than Todd Gurley in this one. But Todd Gurley is a great athlete, and he's number 4 for me.
Yeah, I'm going to stay right there with my number 3. That is Todd Gurley. I love how you talked about using him early, because you look at the past games. He was involved early with the Cowboys, kind of faded, and then he faded really, really early against the Saints.
Right.
But I think, like you said, you gave Sean McVay now 2 weeks to prepare for getting him more involved. And I wanted to ask you about, why do you think it is C.J. Anderson has taken the majority of the carries? What happened, and why is he a better fit right now for the Rams than Todd Gurley?
There's a couple things here. Todd Gurley did have an injury just a couple of weeks ago, so he's still trying to find his legs for sure. C.J. Anderson's the most ready to go running back in the league right now. It was not with the team all season long. Came in just a couple weeks ago. He's very healthy. He's very fresh. He's ready to go. And he's a much bigger person than Todd Gurley is. So it takes more energy out of the defense to take him down. And he's much shorter too. So running backs that are short, stocky, they're still pretty fast, very quick. They could definitely go in between the tackles, in between the guards. And it takes more out of the defense to take him down. And I think that's what the Saints, they were struggling with in that one. They could definitely, they had the speed to get to Gurley, to get to him, but just a bigger body like CJ, I think they were just able to run the ball better, and it just fit the flow of the game way better.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to watch. That was one of my key storylines, was Gurley's impact, and setting the stage early is the big part of it. Do you expect to see, I do think Gurley will have more carries than C.J. Anderson in this game. Do you expect to see that?
Yeah, I think I'd say that. Like I said, I think Gurley's going to get the ball very early. They want to develop him in this game and really set a tone for him. I still think it's gonna be pretty close, because I see CJ having a big performance also. Maybe a sleeper MVP pick for them for sure.
What a signing.
I'd probably say 55-60% of the load is going to Gurley in this one.
Yeah, I do expect it to be fairly even. The first couple of drives, though, I think it will be Gurley trying to get him involved.
Absolutely.
But he is my number 3 player.
For me, number 3 is the quarterback for the Rams. That is Jared Goff. You already talked about him. And I'm going to have a lot more on him next segment. I got some big stuff for Jared Goff here. I'm a fan. I'm a believer now. Early on in his career, you talked about it, he could have been a bust at number 1 pick. Just nothing was working out for him. Total disaster his first year. But as Sean McVay comes in, they really clicked their minds together, right? And he's had a phenomenal performance ever since. Like, he was great last year. He was really good this year. And Jared Goff, I mean, he's just not even the same player he was first year. And it's incredible to see how big of a jump he's already taken. He's been one of the best quarterbacks in the game for the past 2 seasons. And so to be in the Super Bowl in his third season, I think is remarkable. And he really proved it to me during the Saints game. He was just remarkable. He never got overwhelmed, just like Patrick Mahomes never got overwhelmed for the Chiefs. Everything was going wrong for the Rams and Jared Goff. He threw the interception that Todd Gurley dropped. His headset in his helmet was not working right. He couldn't even hear Sean McVay. They weren't even on the same page. But he was never overwhelmed. Andrew Whitworth was able to calm him down, and he bounced back, had phenomenal throws all game long, bounced back in that game, led the comeback, and really led the drive to get that field goal. So Jared Goff, I think he's really proved me wrong. I liked him as the number 1 pick. I would have chose him too. But after the first year, definitely did not see that anymore. But ever since then, he's proved me wrong. And the throw that he kind of made sidearm in the Saints game was just remarkable. And so I think Jared Goff can make any throw in the league right now. Very similar to Tom Brady, which I'm going to get to next hour. But Jared Goff is the third most impactful, best player in this game. He could play right up there with Tom Brady in this one. But is he too young? That's the question.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at the rest of the NFL, it is in good hands with these young quarterbacks. We've talked a lot about young quarterbacks. A couple of the guys that really I didn't like early, Goff's one of them. Goff, Trubisky was in there as well. They have earned it. Mahomes, NFL is in great hands. Awesome to see Goff already playing in a Super Bowl. My number 2 is a guy that has played in more Super Bowls than any player, and that is quarterback Tom Brady. I think it's without question he is the greatest of all time. You cannot question that anymore. And I was really thinking about this morning when I was getting ready and everything, and why do people hate Tom Brady so much? It's something that's because I was one of those people. I will admit, and it's not that I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but now I just respect him because he's incredible. Everything he's done is incredible. I love the Jets. That was basically my reasoning for not liking Tom Brady and the Patriots. But, I mean, you look at the way he talks to the media. He was a 7th-round draft pick. I mean, it's an incredible story. This guy wasn't even a starter. He was a starter because Bledsoe got hurt. Yeah. So he came into the league as a 7th-round pick. Didn't have a lot of – really no one really expected much out of him. And now he's playing in his 9th Super Bowl. And I want to know – I know he's got a little bit of question marks with the cheating side of things.
Okay.
But nothing I don't think has ever really been proven to be his specific fault. So I think it's very interesting, and I don't want to focus on the bad stuff of Tom Brady, but I wanted to ask, why do you think it is that so many people don't like Tom Brady?
Yeah, I honestly don't know, because I do like Tom Brady. I think he's a very good guy. Obviously, he's a great quarterback. He's a great athlete, very down-to-earth guy. So I think it's very hard to dislike him. I think people don't like domination. They don't like the Patriots. They don't like Alabama football.
Yeah.
They don't like LeBron James right now. So people don't like winning, I guess.
That's not why I don't like LeBron James.
Keep going.
But anyway, getting back to the good side of it, I have him as my number 2 best player in this game. Obviously, I think he has the most impact on this game. It's Tom Brady. Game comes down to the line. If I'm the Rams, obviously you do not want the ball in his hands. Been here more than anyone ever. Greatest quarterback of all time.
I'll have a little bit more on Tom Brady in a sec. But my number 2 player is Aaron Donald, defensive tackle for the Los Angeles Rams. Incredible athlete. I sent you a picture earlier. He's got his shirt off. He doesn't look human. He's just incredible for being a defensive tackle, being able to run with that speed he has, and just get into the quarterback. He's unblockable. The Patriots offensive line, we're talking about that, how unblockable Aaron Donald is, how they're going to have to double team him, and how he still led the league in sacks with 20.5, being double teamed as a tackle. It's just it's just mind-boggling. Aaron Donald might be the best defensive player I've ever seen in my lifetime for sure. So Aaron Donald, huge impact in this game. Like you said, the defensive line for the Rams going up against the best unit for the Patriots, probably that offensive line. So the two best units on both teams here are going up against each other, and it's going to be a great matchup. And maybe the winner of that unit is going to win the Super Bowl. I think it definitely comes down to that.
That's my big
how
key.
the defensive line could get to Tom Brady, and if they can. I think Aaron Donald maybe has kind of had an underwhelming playoff so far. No sacks in the playoffs right now. He's going to have a huge performance in the Super Bowl if they're going to win this game. And I believe he can because Aaron Donald is the number 2 player in the Super Bowl. I can't wait to see the performance he puts on.
And I will stay right there with my number 1 player, and that is Aaron Donald, defensive tackle for the Los Angeles Rams. You saw it today in the interviews. Center for the New England Patriots, David Andrews, saying that this man is unblockable. He has a counter reaction to anything you do. That concerns me personally if your own offensive line is saying that this guy is unblockable. But I mean, it's the truth. 20 and a half sacks this season. Led the NFL in sacks once again, something that really he's just grown accustomed to. I think he's arguably, I think this year especially, he's put himself in the greatest defensive player of all time category. Definitely, I think the best defensive player in the league right now, but this guy is not human, and it's a defensive tackle. I think that is the coolest thing about it is these guys that are normally shut down the run game, just get in there, cause mayhem inside. They don't get a lot of glory, but Aaron Donald is so dominant, it's hard not to give him all the glory and all the credit, and that's what I think we're going to see come Sunday. Aaron Donald is my top player in this game.
Yeah, unbelievable. He was both our picks for Defensive Player of the Year. He should absolutely get it, so we'll see on Saturday night, actually, the NFL Honors. Make sure to tune into that. All the awards are given out. We gave our awards on Tuesday, so make sure to look at our past clips on Tuesday and who the awards we gave out to. But I'll come back here to my number 1 player in the Super Bowl, and you already talked about it. He is Tom Brady, of course, the GOAT. He is the best player of all time as a quarterback, and he has to be number 1 because of his impact he has on this game. He was just remarkable last week in the AFC Championship against the Chiefs. He controlled that game. They ran the ball. He was just a total time management quarterback. And then in overtime, we saw him take over. He was never giving the ball back up to the Kansas City Chiefs. And so Tom Brady is going to have a huge impact in this game, of course. He's going to control the ball. He doesn't want to give it to the explosive Rams offense. So Tom Brady, he knows how to get it done. It's his 9th Super Bowl. He knows how to win. And he's the best player probably I've ever seen. And he's going to be the best player in the Super Bowl. So Tom Brady is number 1 player in the Super Bowl.
9 Super Bowls, pretty remarkable. But those are our top 10 players in the game comes Sunday. Again, my top 10 is number 10, Sony Michel, number 9, Shaq Mason, number 8, Aqib Talib, number 7, Rob Gronkowski, number 6, Julian Edelman, number 5, Jared Goff, number 4, Stephen Gilmore, number 3, Todd Gurley, number 2, Tom Brady, and number 1, Aaron Donald.
I got number 10, Sony Michel, number 9, Stephon Gilmore, number 8, Andrew Whitworth, number 7, Shaq Mason, 6, Julian Edelman, number 5, Rob Gronkowski, 4, I got Todd Gurley, 3, Jared Goff, number 2, I got Aaron Donald, and number 1 is, of course, Tom Brady.
So you can see the differences and the similarities, but it is 3 o'clock right now, so we are going to head off to break, but we got a whole nother hour with you guys here in studio today out down here at Blue Collar Sports. Stay tuned. It's going to be an all Super Bowl again for hour number 2. Going to be great stuff. We got prop bets coming up for you as well. Going to get a little fun with it. We got how the impact of the game Sunday and what it means past looking forward for the NFL, and of course, at the end of it, we'll have our debate over our winner. You'll hear our predictions here at Blue Collar Sports. So stay tuned. It's going to be a great hour number 2.
We'll be right back.